Hello everyone and welcome. And today we're gonna be talking a little bit about what decks I would play in the current standard, meaning Stellar Crown format. First off, the deck that I mostly play and I like it the most at the moment is definitely Dragapult EX. It has a great matchup spread, it deals a lot of damage on the bench and to the active. You can take multiple prize turns. I think this deck is definitely the one that I prefer at the moment. It's actually quite easy to pilot as well. And yeah, I'm mostly playing around with the deck list that won Dortmund regionals, and yeah, I like it a lot at the moment. The second deck that I would like to mention has got to be the Tagos EX deck. A deck that is a bit more difficult to pilot and a bit more setup reliant. Well, actually, Dragapult is also setup reliant, but anyway, very setup reliant deck, very difficult to pilot. I have been told. I haven't tested it yet, unfortunately. But from what I get when I was grinding the ladder and facing a lot of Terrapagos over there, it looks a lot of fun. It looks really nice, and I can't wait to try it out right after these regionals where I'm gonna take the Dragapult EX. And yeah, to test out that deck, it looks very fun and it's very, very, very strong as well, especially with the Area Zero underdepths with insane damage outputs from the Terrapagos. It's really, really a cool deck. Apparently a bit harder to pilot, but still pretty cool deck. And one more thing about Terrapagos, it also has a great matchup spread. The only matchup that I think is kind of unfavored has got to be the Dragapult EX. Because of the damage spread onto the bench, Dragapult can take easy 4 prizes in one turn and pop to Dusknoir, and we're at 6 prizes and that's it. But yeah, other than that, it is pretty much favored into Raging Bolt, it's pretty much favored into Charizard, it's favored into almost anything at this moment. Or at least 50-50 or favored into most matchups. But it's very setup reliant. If you don't get that amazing first turn that the Terrapagos tends to get, it's not gonna be all that good, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the thing that makes this deck kind of difficult to pilot. The third deck that I would like to mention has got to be the Raging Bolt. The Raging Bolt deck, actually, I did a deck profile video on my channel a few weeks ago, and the deck actually won the Louisville Regionals this past weekend. Even though it's very easy to pilot, one of the easiest decks, at least on paper, has got a brilliant matchup spread. It's very competitive into Dragapult EX, it's very competitive into Charizard, it's a bit not all that great into Terrapagos, and it's also kind of great into Palkia. So yeah, it has a great matchup spread, it's very aggressive, it has a high damage output, and yeah, overall a very nice deck, also very fun to play. Definitely, if I don't get the day 2 in the Lille regionals, I'm definitely taking the Raging Bolt on the side events the next day. And one more deck that I would like to mention is also the Control. If I knew how to play Control, I would definitely play Control because it's very, very strong at the moment. It has great matchup spread across everything. But yeah, it's a very difficult archetype to play. It's very, 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 very difficult, and you need to be very wary of all the matchups of everything that other decks do so that you can pilot it well, and that's what makes it one of the most difficult decks to pilot. But yeah, it's a very high risk, high reward deck if you study it enough. and you get a good grasp on what the deck is doing, the deck is insane. And if you don't, you're just gonna be losing every round probably. And the last deck that I would like to mention, that I would also play, kind of maybe, is the Charizard EX. I played it in the Dortmund regionals and I didn't do all that well with it. And yeah, there are still some very good results that Charizard decks are getting across the special events and the regionals at the moment. But all in all, I think it's just not as strong as Dragapult or Terapagos or other decks. It's still very fun to play, and yeah, but yeah, I don't see it, I don't know, being one of the best decks at the moment, but still, with proper testing and with proper adaptations, it just might be the thing that wins it all. And while I'm on the topic of adjusting and everything, one thing that I would personally avoid in the format is the heavy one-offs deck. That's the mistake I made in Dortmund, where I played a very heavy one-off Charizard deck. It had, I think, 17 one-offs in the deck, and yeah, that's just, it lacked consistency way too much for me, and unfortunately I just didn't get to do all that well with it. And another thing that I would avoid is decks that have heavy reliance on the support Pokemon, such as Chien-Pao, for example, with their Excaliburs, because people can just pop their Dusknors, which are now basically in every deck, and once they pop it, they break your draw support, they break your energy acceleration, and yeah, it just goes downhill for you from there, unfortunately. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and we can have a little chat down there. And thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.